about the standard. Yeah, so
Hmm.
there is no standard about Usui Reiki. So we already talk about bit about
Mm.
the levels. Then yeah, so what kind of content and what's the standard in Usui Reiki? And I have seen
Hmm.
so many schools, they changed the name already. So that's also something similar, like you mentioned, like, you are not sure what you are learning about. Like maybe you learning Reiki,
Yeah.
but the Reiki master or the teacher changed the name a little bit, so you can't find Usui Reiki anymore. It's something very similar to Usui Reiki, but they didn't really
Mm.
say Reiki anymore, right? And then sometimes the opposite also does happen. You actually go to the Usui Reiki, but the content is so different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we know that because sometimes we have these clients. Yeah, so my experience is actually based on the client's story, yes. And also sometimes with my understanding as well, like because my experience is I went to the two different schools. So the
Mm.
content is not exactly the same. So I
Hmm.
definitely actually want to let people know, but the best is need to standardize. Yeah, like
Yeah.
to understand the content, like, yeah, because if we are talking about you're going to learn the driving license school, so you expect something to learn, then definitely not the one like, wow, I'm going to learn the driving, but today I didn't learn driving. Actually, I was learning about cooking, and it's not going to be happen like this way, right? So definitely Reiki also not like from driving to cooking, but sometimes is a bit different. Yeah, like you expecting something, but you went there and it is something different, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if you're expecting to learn how to drive a car and then they're teaching you how to drive a motorcycle. It's still a
Mm,
vehicle, it's still
mm,
driving per se, but it's something completely different. Like it's different
mm,
concepts and maybe you can't then apply it to what you already have in your life.
mm,
But I,
mm,
I think that like the point that you're making too also relates to like
mm,
at least in the United States right now, Reiki is such a buzzword that people just
mm.
use it for any sort of energy work. And so, then they're
Really?
involving crystals and they're involving, they say it's massage instead of teate and stuff like that. So it's like, it's all
Mm,
these different things that Reiki can definitely be applied to, just like your
mm,
driving
mm.
scenario.
Right.
But
Yeah.
then it's not what Reiki is at its
Mm,
essence. And so I
mm,
feel like that's a big misconception a lot of times because it's for me, it's just like yoga where people will say, oh, this is yoga, that's yoga. But then it's like,
mm,
some of it is, and then some of it's like just stretching or you're just doing aerobics or something like that. And so it's
mm,
lost what it
mm,
actually is at its
mm,
core. And I
mm,
feel like that actually happens with Reiki a lot of times so that people
mm,
don't even know what Reiki
yes.
is.
Mm,
And they'll just apply anything that's kind of
mm,
energy work in general
mm,
to, and maybe even non-energy work, things that just have energy
mm,
involved somehow or
mm,
spirituality involved somehow
mm,
in it. And then it becomes Reiki and it's like, is that Reiki at that point or is it something else? Like that's what I often ask myself. And it's like, it's
mm,
fine. I think if people know what
mm,
Reiki is and then they call something
mm,
that, even if it doesn't quite form the definition of Usui Reiki, but
mm,
I think even at its core, there's a big
mm.
misperception of what Reiki is.
Mm, yeah, I think it's true. But I think in the course, we also teaching about the meaning of the word
Mm.
Reiki, right? So
Yes,
if we
yes.
talk about the meaning of Reiki, it doesn't really meaning about learning Reiki, because learning Reiki is
Hmm.
about like using the hands. So this is completely the energy work that's originated in Japan,
Hmm.
and so this is more educational material. But if we just say Reiki, then maybe probably you see the shop name is just Reiki and the
Yeah.
inside is selling all the crystals. But I think that's something that we need to be careful. Like, yeah, like as you mentioned earlier, like because we going to teach Reiki, but the other techniques or other tools are combined as well. And these are really see quite often these days because even the question coming from the new client, so they want to understand more about Reiki, but they are thinking about, is it something you're going to do with the singing bowl, or
Hmm.
are you going to use the crystals, or do I have to? So they have a lot of questions regarding like, oh, so what kind of tool are you going to use it? So
Yeah,
yeah,
investment back.
that's I can understand. Like maybe the people really
Mm.
simply misunderstand about some point, or they really experience something else in the different place. So yeah, they found that Reiki it is something like that. It is so different
Yeah.
from the original one. So that's I think we have to be careful. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember another student when I was first going through my Reiki training,
Mm,
um, for teacher training even, that they said that they had taken Reiki level one with another teacher who said that they had to buy all these crystals and make this
mm,
investment and have like a singing bowl, and that then the teacher put all the like different symbols on like the garbage can and things like that to like cleanse the garbage. And it was like, wow, what was going on at that school? So I guess it kind of goes back to your first point about
mm,
like what is the investment also? Like there's
mm,
often a misperception because of this third, one of like,
mm,
what is it and
mm,
how do we integrate it, of
mm,
that there's so many different things that are
mm,
considered a
mm,
must in different
mm,
maybe schools or patterns of thought with Reiki, that it ends up being,
mm,
a big investment because you're
mm,
talked into buying things that you don't need
mm.
technically, because Reiki, the whole purpose ultimately is to try and let go
Mm.
of everything,
Yes, yes,
even the
exactly.
symbols and mantras. So,
Yes. That's I think we should mention more about it because somehow we
mm,
practice in Reiki, many times we realize that actually we are releasing it and then letting go. Of
yeah.
course, as a people, we learn more things, and then that's also will be nice to discover new things. But I think it's really hard for us to release the ego. So that's the point, and I really want to invest more about it.
Mm,
Because people tend to get more things and then get more information and then get more stuff. And then that's actually, with the desires, it seems it's easier maybe. Yeah. But then in our life, when we are getting older, so what is the life and then why do you practice Reiki?
yeah.
So I think that's the question I always like to ask myself. And then everybody said yes, of course we can think about the purpose, but I think we can set a goal as the
Mm.
destination at the end. So yeah, we can work on it. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.